Hi, I'm Matthew Grokoff, host of Greenovation.tv. The Michigan Uniform Energy Code went into effect in March of 2011, and this updated code really emphasizes the building's thermal envelope. There's been a couple of major changes to the code. First, it requires higher levels of insulation. And second, putting in a more efficient furnace can no longer be used as a trade-off for putting in less insulation. Having a better furnace isn't going to help much if those energy savings are then wasted through poor insulation.
The code requires verification of all of the building insulation. So to comply, the builders need to get insulation inspection after the rough inspections are done, but before the drywall goes up. The purpose of the insulation inspection is to make sure that the builder correctly installed the installation specified in the permit application and according to the manufacturer's specifications. And although the code no longer allows for trade-offs for a high-efficiency furnace, the builder still has the option of using the performance approach. With the performance-based plan, the inspector may see insulation or U-factor levels that are higher or even lower than what is prescribed by code. And that's okay as long as the levels match what is indicated in the passing report produced by any of the approved programs used to demonstrate compliance. Let's take a look at what needs to be checked. In this inspection, the inspector makes a visual confirmation that the required insulation has been properly installed and makes sure that the entire building thermal envelope is insulated. To put it simply, we want insulation between every indoor space that connects to the outdoors. The inspector will check 5 areas of the building envelope: the attic, the side walls, under floors, basements or crawl spaces, and all of the fenestrations. First, let's take a look at the attic. Under the prescriptive approach, R values in the attic should be at least R38 or R49 in the northern parts of the state. Now, there are many types of insulation. The 3 most common are fiberglass batting, spray foam, and cellulose. If the contractor is using fiberglass batting, you need to make sure that the batting completely covers the area, that it's tight with the edges to the interior, and it's properly secured. Now, the batting should not be compressed since that reduces its effectiveness. If the insulation installer used a sprayed-on or blown-in material, they must supply a certification of the material installed and the R value. The inspector should verify the thickness of the material installed and calculate the total R value. A spray foam that will end up behind drywall should carefully be leveled to maintain depth from rafter to rafter or stud to stud. Any indentation between the rafters really reduces the R value. Blown cellulose installed horizontally in the attic should have markers placed at regular intervals, noting an even depth throughout. 1 marker should be placed right at the attic access opening to verify that the markers are the proper height. Now, in all instances, make sure that all the ventilation pathways are clear of obstructions and are open. The underside of floors are required to be insulated when they are over an unconditioned space. Now, this would include areas above a garage, rooms where the floor is cantilevered over outdoor air, a crawl space vented to the outside, or an unconditioned and uninsulated basement. Floors over an unconditioned space must have an R value of 30. And as with the walls in the attic, you need to confirm that there's a proper fit, proper R value, and proper material for that application. Now let's take a look at the crawl spaces and basements. As an alternative to insulating floors above a crawl space, there's the option to encapsulate the crawl space by closing the vents, insulating the walls, and installing a Class 1 vapor retarder on the floor. Now, crawl space walls can be R10 continuous or R13 stud cavity insulation for all Michigan climate zones. Depending on the climate zone, basement walls must have a minimum R10 to R15 continuous or R13 to R19 stud cavity insulation. In a basement, wall insulation should extend from the top of the basement wall to the floor or 10 feet below grade, whichever is less. Now, this inspection also requires verifying that the band joist is insulated above all of the exterior walls. Now, at this point, the inspector has verified that the plan matches the actual installation and that all the work meets code requirements. But the new energy code adds an important last step with regard to insulation, fenestration, and appliances. The builder must complete and attach a compliance certificate to the electrical panel, noting the predominant insulation in the ceiling, attic, walls, and foundation, and the U-factors for all fenestrations. The certificate should also note the type and efficiency level of the furnace, the air conditioner, and the water heater.
That concludes the insulation inspection. A thermal bypass checklist, such as the one provided by the Energy Star Home Rating Program, can be a helpful tool to make sure that all of the areas are checked. And to find more information on the Michigan Uniform Energy Code, including upcoming training dates, visit the Energy Code's website at Michigan State University.